it is time to revamp 30-something-year-old suspension. It does have coilovers on it and whatnot, but we're not messing with coilovers today. We're doing all the bushings, camber kits, so on and so forth. We're gonna show you what I think is the best camber kit on the market for these, and should go quick. Well, I say that, but we'd still have to burn out bushings. It's always fun. Over here is everything we're doing today. So this is a rear brace. You'll see where it gets installed, but inner bolt for the lower control arms go there. This, I'm pretty sure, considering the boxing, is the rear camber kit. So the rear camber kit, because of how it is and what it affects and whatnot, or how it moves, doesn't really need to be the most expensive, the most nice, all that other stuff. It just gets done. A lot of the times in the old days, people would just put longer bolts and some washers, and that was your camber kit. These are a little nicer and easier to adjust. So we're gonna be throwing those on. This one is all of the energy suspension bushings that we're gonna be doing. So these are trailing arm bushings and control arm bushings and so on and so forth. And last but not least, is the PCI, or Pro Car Innovations, upper control arms. So these, really, you can't get any better than these. That's upside down, but the picture looks better. I have these on my CRX, and they've been on there a long time, and it's one of those things where if you damage this, the car has been wrapped around something and it's not coming back. The other thing too is this spherical bearing up here is your ball joint, which honestly, like if you have to change axle or any of that other stuff, this is the easiest thing to do, because all you do is unbolt it, it comes apart, but when it's together, it is absolutely solid. The other thing that is nice about this style and how they put the little sleeves in here is it's actually quiet when driving over bumps and whatnot. These are the adjuster bolts, and they are so much better than the tiny little Allens that you get on things like Junk 2. We're going to measure the ride height, and then we're going to lift it and start ripping everything apart. We're gonna get our starting point because we want to adjust from where the car is now. 21 1/8. This one, 21 and, ooh, what is that? 11/16. 21 5/8. 21 11/16. Stout ass gun. I haven't used this yet. Shout out to the people who should sponsor us, Harbor Freight.
Telling you, dude, we say too many bad words.
We do say too many bad words, but we could say really good words about Harbor Freight if they sponsored us.
They only sponsor NPCs on YouTube.
The NPCs are not who people trust.
That get the I watched
They read the script.
like a pre-release for the ratchets, the G2 ratchets, from a channel that was like sponsored by them. They got them for free, and the dude was like,
If you see here, it's the ratchet is exactly 14 1/8 long,
and he's got the tape measure, and he's like micrometering the head and shit. And I'm like, dude,
So what you're saying, it's like car and driver?
heads up, Harbor Freight. No one gives a shit. Don't sponsor that guy.
Mechanics or people who work on their car swear. Unfortunately, you don't want to believe that, but they do. And if you hear one who doesn't say a bad word, I don't really trust that they know what they're talking about with a tool. I don't care if they read the thing that you sent them. That's not how I use a tool.
What we need is a thumbnail of Brandon holding the Harbor Freight, the Bauer gun right there, and the speech bubble needs to say You can just bleep.
Yeah, I'm sure he has to bleep that one out. There are some words that even we can't say on there because we will say, but we can't say it on YouTube. So
One for this side too.
oh, look at that. They're not color matching, dude. What's going on?
Yeah, I know, because it was a 2-pack, and I thought they were both green, but...
I will say this gun is pretty stout. We're gonna start with the back of the car. This is one of those things where, you know, I've been doing this for a while, so I have my own opinion of how things should happen. I know doing this in your garage, you might be like, well, I'll do that one and then I'll put it back together, and then I'll do that one and then I'll put it back together. And I don't think that's actually easier. So I'm going to take this entire arm off because the trailing arm bushing up here gets replaced. The arm up here gets replaced. And then the bushings for this control arm back here get replaced. And so those 3 spots are the 3 spot or everything that holds this entire thing in. So I'm gonna take the brakes off, that way that can hang. Take the strut off, that way that can hang. Take those off, the whole thing comes down, and I just do it all on the ground. And I don't have the car, I don't have to worry about anything else, and then you put it back together as one piece. Definitely much easier. If you're gonna do it in your driveway though, I would say measure stuff or put marks. That way you can go, you know, get in alignment and not destroy your tires on the way there. Where this isn't coming off the rack until it is aligned, so it doesn't matter where I put it.
See, you're already fucking up.
How am I already fucking?
This is too high in the air.
I don't have a chair. You have the only one. I break my chair every time.
Frank has a chair and he's not here.
Ooh, I could break Frank's chair. I'm gonna go break Frank's chair. Oh, you pulled the e-brake. My bad. All right, so everything got pressure washed. So now we're going to burn the bushings out. The instructions will tell you to press it, but these are really old and there is rust and everything around there. And if you don't have the exact proper things to press it, it's going to fight you. Where is it? I did try to press this one. And it started kind of crushing it weird and it wasn't really moving. So I'm going to burn them out. Also, these are the center things for the rear trailing arms. You're gonna burn all the rubber off of that or cut it off, whatever you wanna do. And you're gonna do the same thing inside the arm. So the metal sleeve here we leave, don't take that off. And then we gotta get rid of all of this rubber crap inside of it. So if you're wondering why I'm pressing it when I said that I wasn't going to press it, it's actually because pressing it with the little center piece of metal that the bolt goes through just wasn't really happening. The rubber was bent off to one side. These weren't really centering on it. I don't have the right things to, you know, go around that. And getting those out of the way so that it's just flat here made it much easier to get these in here. Now, if this didn't work, the next step would have been a Sawzall, and then you cut a little slit in it, and then you take an air chisel or a chisel, any kind, air hammer kind of thing, and, you know, bend it out. That can mar up the center of these. It's not the best, but it won't really harm it. So this is just the best possible thing, is pressing it out. I just burnt out everything so that it hopefully was easier to press out, and it's turning out to be, but they're a little scary when they start moving.
right, well, we got all the bushings swapped over. I always forget how much of a pain in the ass these kits are until I do them. I just don't do them super frequently, but yeah, everything's swapped over. We got the adjustable control arms in the front and the rear for the camber adjustment. So we just got to finish slapping this all back together and then get it aligned. See how it drives.
All right, so we've changed bays, and the reason is because when we ordered all this stuff, we ordered strut control arm bushings, and we didn't know that was only for the rear, so we had to order the fronts. Granted, they came the next day, so there's that. And then two, we had other work to do, so we put that on the lift that we were working on, and Frank's not here today, so we're taking his bay. But now the only thing we gotta do is put in the two bushings that we were missing. Everything else is in there. I'll show you all that stuff right now. So we got the PCI upper control arm up here. I don't know if it's actually adjusted all the way out, but we're going to probably adjust it all the way out and see how clearance is with the fender and whatnot, and then do the alignment and go from there. But our starting point is going to be most of the way out because we're not trying to get as much camber as possible. And then down here, we did have to move the car. So don't do this at home. We shoved a bushing in there and whatnot, and we drove it out, drove it back in, very, very slow. But this is where the bushing that we were waiting for comes in. That one's been changed out to poly. The one back here has been changed out to poly. Same on the other side. We did a brand new ball joint, because why not? We didn't do wheel bearings. We didn't have any problems with them, so no real reason to do it. In the rear, this arm was all the three that I burned out. So these ones are the same ones. This one was the one that we thought we also got the front with, but this one's a different kit. So we got all three of those. This complete arm is now all poly. And then we did the trailing arm bushings, which on these are one of the biggest things that go because they're not super stout. They don't have a whole lot of rubber in them. And we're Arizona, and we hate rubber, apparently. But we don't have rust, so win some, lose some. We didn't do the toe adjusters because really, I mean, the bushings aren't bad, and we don't need any crazy toe adjustment like the camber kits, which are up here. So the camber kits, we need some adjustment because Steve likes it low. So we want to make sure that he doesn't destroy his tires, and that's what these will do. These will still be able to adjust and be within factory toe, which if you can't get in factory toe, that's the only reason to change those out. And then we added this. So this is a brace, but also this is a Civic Si, right? Which is the sport injection, which is actually what SI stands for, but it's a sporty model. But it didn't come with a rear sway bar. So he got one of these, which is a bigger brace for the rear section. It also looks really cool if you're behind the car. And this is so that you can actually put a sway bar on the car if you want. Now, he would need different lower control arms that have a sway bar accepting hole. But right now, it's just something that he had, and it will help improve the feel of the car when he's driving around. So, looks and performance. So, throughout the whole video, you saw us putting these in. So, if you've ever installed these, or if you want to install energy suspension bushings, they give you these packets, right? This one, which comes with these bushings, there's 4 of them total, and then they have little bushings that go at the top of the struts, but we have coilovers, so we're not using those. But they give you 4 of these packets. That should tell you something. It means grease the ever-living fuck out of these things. Because, yes, they're really stiff, so on and so forth, but for your suspension to be silent, it needs grease. If you don't put enough grease in these, it's going to squeak, it's going to cause premature wear on the rubber and all the other stuff. So, cake the living crap out of it. Also, if you're ever going to do any of these, I strongly suggest that you invest in some channel locks. You need big channel locks. None of that small channel lock stuff.
Look at that.
Channel lock for the win. Wheel is crooked, hold on.
All right, let's go take it for a test drive. Let's see how it feels. And can already feel a difference. Wow. The first thing I notice is no squeaking. Used to really have a lot of, I thought it was interior noise, like the interior panels rattling or scraping or something like that. I've had the car for 14 years, so I know how the car drives, handles, and feels and sounds. And wow, this is extremely quiet so far. Wow, what a difference. It's firm, but it's not stiff. It's not like jolting or anything like that over minor little bumps and stuff in the road. Feels really good. Drive straight and wheel straight, alignment and everything is good on it. Very happy with it.